Thank you, Chair Huntsman. Okay, now we will move to board members' comments. Board Member Earl?
Yes, I have just a letter that I want to read and submit for public, as far as public record. Others are welcome to sign on to that if they want. I know there's a couple of board members that already indicated. I've left it just for you to read as well. I'm just going to read down through it. I know the difference between NASB and SBA. I don't know that they blend those together, but I do think that the actions of these organizations do impact our families and our communities, as well as an overreach of federal organizations. So I'm just going to read it. It says, Utah Families, Utah State Boards Association, and Attorney General Sean Reyes. We're writing in response to the recent communications between NSBA and the United States Attorney General Merrick Garland with regards to categorizing parents as domestic terrorists and seeking assistance from federal agencies to insert their authority into state and local public school issues. Utah law is very clear that parents have the primary responsibility for the education of their children and elect representatives in the legislature and on state and local school boards to administer the state public education system, which promotes extensive support and assistance. Utah also defends the constitutionally the protected rights of parents to conceive and raise their children, as well as to secure the liberty interest of parents from undue government interference. Additionally, educators also maintain a right to a work and environment free of any abusive conduct. Threats against U.S. citizens, which include both parents and educators alike, are illegal. We have increased security measures at the state board meeting, and would encourage local districts to involve local law enforcement in their meetings as necessary. It is the policy of the state of Utah to see that law and order is maintained in the public square, while allowing diverse opinions to be expressed at public meetings. Parents, educators, and policymakers around the nation have witnessed an increase in the implementation of social political ideologies and divisive theories within public schools. This heightened awareness has brought about much public debate at local and state school board meetings. Many parents are concerned about the implementation of or practice of these theories on their children and our state. We encourage policies that help to create open communication and transparency of programs in the public education system. When a government agency exercises power and authority outside of their jurisdiction, they are perceived as trying to intimidate and coerce citizens rather than protecting them. We are grateful to live in a state that already has positive relationships established with local and state law enforcement, sheriffs, and our Utah Attorney General, Sean Reyes. We are grateful for the service they render for the safety of our families. We are also fully aware that if there is an extreme need for additional help from federal law enforcement, the request would come from these organizations, as they have a better understanding of community issues in Utah. Sending help when none is requested diverts resources, time, and personnel from legitimate national issues and weakens our overall ability to quickly mobilize around real terrorist threats. The Federal Bureau of Investigation recently reported to Congress stating, "No investigation may be open solely on activities protected by the First Amendments or the lawful exercise of rights secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States." Further, as cited in the same report, advocacy of political or social positions, political activism, use of strong rhetoric, or generalized use of violent tactics may not constitute violent extremism and may be constitutionally protected. Advocating for one's children on educational issues is not just a right, but a responsibility of all Utah parents, and is encouraged by Utah's legislature and other elected officials. While local school districts establish these times, places, and manner of expression to share public comments, these narrow exceptions should not deter the freedom of expression on issues related to families in the public school system, nor should debate and deliberation be suppressed because the ideas put forth are thought by some or even most members of the education community to be offensive, unwise, or wrong. It is important that expressions stay within the law and don't falsely defame a specific individual, constitute a genuine threat or harassment, or invade substantial privacy or confidentiality interest. The actions taken by NSBA and the United States Attorney General clearly violate Utah law and are constitutionally unsound. We would encourage elected officials to defend First Amendment rights, local control of public schools, and support Utah law enforcement as they do their job to sustain a free society. Sincerely, I'm signing my name. You're welcome to include yours, and I'll include this as a public record. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Earl. Board Member Cannon?
Thank you. I would like to say three things. First, thank you for these really cool new nameplates. I mean, I feel so spiffy sitting by this. Thank you. And then I noted that when we went to have our lunch, there were wonderful decorations and a big thank you in the lunchroom there. And I just appreciate Sybil and others who took the time and effort to do that for us. Thank you so much. It was so great of you.
And there were refreshments earlier, too.
And treats over there. Anyway, and thirdly, we're going to have a Christmas party. And I hope everyone got their little invitation. This will be after board meeting, so try not to speak too much in December so we can get right to the party. And we will have a main course provided, and then I will email you and ask you to sign up for an appetizer or a dessert or some such. And we are asking you each to bring some magnificent $15 white elephant with no name on it, and we will just have a white elephant gift exchange, and we'll have some delicious food, and we'll get to socialize with one another, and I don't think we've been able to do that all year. So I'm totally looking forward to it. Hope you'll all participate, and we will, in addition to board members, we'll ask the executive staff to be part of our party. So thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Cannon. Board Member Straight?
Yes, I just wanted to say I appreciated the comments and the appreciation for our military and their service, and that's coming up on the 11th. And you know, I'm so thankful for local school boards. I'm thankful for the teachers, administrators. I'm thankful for everyone here for what they do for education. It is a pleasure to be a part of that. And I really appreciated the opportunity I had. It was 2 weeks ago, Sybil, that we went and did the virtual training. I gained such an appreciation, and it super humbled me. In fact, I probably talked too much about how much it humbled me. But to know that there are those who, as you are going this way, they're going that way into danger. And I could not believe the amount of pressure it affected me physically.
See,
And
sweating.
I found out that Cindy really doesn't have my back.
I'm so sorry. I mean, you got killed like 3 times. I was like, please put down the gun, sir. He was already gone.
Only the first one counted, though.
Only the first one counted. I got
Yeah.
better as time went on, I think.
Well, I shot the undercover police officer. So, and it's not funny. It was like, it was traumatic. It was stressful and traumatic, but in the end, I so appreciate those who serve our community and including ourselves. So, thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Straight. Board Member Klein?
I just want to thank Jenny for putting this letter together. A lot of concerned citizens have been reaching out nonstop, asking why Utah hasn't added their name to, I think, the 22 other states that have distanced themselves now from the NSBA. And as you know, we are not, as the USBE is not a member of the NSBA, but the USBA is. And so hopefully the USBA will come out and make a public statement on where they stand as far as what their parent organization has said they have. Okay, good to know.
All totally.
Have they distanced themselves? Or did they just say they're for local control?
They made that statement. I don't know if you know, but
Board Member Booth, if you put your mic on.
Your mic.
A member of USBA, Christy Sweat, is the new president coming up this next year for NSBA. So for the first time in decades, we have a president from the state of Utah since, who's the Finnish lady? Masi White. We'll have, to distance ourselves at this moment when finally Utah has a chance to take the leadership and really make
So
a
the
statement.
new president
The
of
new-
NSBA is from Utah.
Is from Utah, and she will be taking, in January, taking the lead.
Interesting.
So there's a chance for some really wonderful influence from the state of Utah as we can guide and direct that organization. Because even though they were way overstepping and out to lunch, as I think of 16 years on NEBO board, I learned so much from NSBA experiences. I mean, there's much good. It's too bad that it's so tainted by a bad call on their leadership's part on something like this, because they've done so much good for so many years. So I'm grateful that we do have some Utah representation at the same time as our friend here will be with NASBE. We'll have Christy Sweat as the president of NSBA. So Utah could really make some very important inroads in positive public education.
Well, I hope that's the case, but I do want to add my name to this letter, just as for this particular incident. Thank you.
Also retracted.
They apologized for some of the language in it.
Thank you, Board Member Klein. I was going to say Board Member Dixon. Vice Chair Davis.
A few things. I will do my target practice, but I truly will never look at a police officer the same again, ever. I mean, my appreciation grew tenfold that day, if not more. Additionally, I want to thank Janet Cannon for taking on this Christmas gathering, and nobody poo-poo the white elephant, because I still use a headache thing that Patty Norman brought for a white elephant gift 2 years ago when we did that white elephant exchange.
Your picture.
Oh, that's so fun. And then the last thing I want is just to thank Board Member Hart for giving us all the challenge last month to take cookies to our neighborhood lunch staff, and to send a thank you to our local bus driver. And I will say, I've been remiss, and I haven't got to the lunch staff yet. I bought my favorite peppermint pretzels and a thank you note for my kid's bus driver, and it's going to go to the bus driver. And then I also made a decision that whenever I see a bus driver driving by, because it's so hard to get them these days, that I was going to yell to them and thank them. And I had my first opportunity a few days ago, and I yelled at the guy, and he looked at me like, and then I said, "Thank you, thanks for driving our kids." And his eyes got this big, like a positive thing, and smiled, and it just has made me more aware. So I'm grateful for that challenge, and hopefully next month I can report on the second half of it. But these folks do a lot of work for our kids, and they're under difficult situations this year for sure, with the food shortages and the driver shortages.
Thank you, Vice Chair Davis. I don't see any other lights. Thank you. We will consider this meeting adjourned. Thank you.